Good evening, welcome to the Selectboard meeting of March 6th, 2024. Call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. This meeting is being broadcast live on BNC TV, live streamed on YouTube. To find BNC TV on YouTube, go to youtube.com and search for Bernardston-Northfield Community Television. This meeting will be available for later viewing by following the link at thetownofbernardston.org. You can also watch channel 1075 on your Comcast dial in Bernardston. First order of business is the warrants. We entertain a motion for the payroll warrant in the amount of $51,918.01.
So moved. Second.
Any questions on it? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the vendor warrant in the amount of $68,430.83.
So moved. Second.
Is there any questions on the vendor warrant? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Minute meetings, entertain a motion for the regular meeting minutes of February 7th, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of February 13th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion for the special meeting minutes of February 28th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, calendar and announcements. Board of Health meeting and public hearing Thursday, March 7th at 3:30 p.m. Town Hall. The public hearing is scheduled to begin at 3:45 p.m. A joint meeting with the Select Board and Finance Committee from Bernardston and Leiden in Northfield is scheduled on Thursday, March 7th at 6:30 p.m. at the Bernardston Senior Center. Is that going to be televised?
Yes, it will.
Okay. That'll be televised, so I don't think it'll be live, though.
He just said live.
Yes,
I think it
yes.
You think it will be live? Yes, it'll be live, so if you can't make it, you can watch it from home. A joint meeting with the Finance Committee and Select Board is scheduled on Monday, March 11th, 6:30 p.m. Town Hall. The purpose of this meeting is the FY25 budget review with selected departments, boards, committees, and commissions. The Council on Aging meeting is scheduled on Tuesday, March 12th, 9:30 at the Senior Center. The Conservation Commission meeting is scheduled on Tuesday, March 12th at 6 p.m. Town Hall. The annual town caucus is scheduled on Monday, March 18th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Town Hall. And we urge people to come. Every year we have the scramble to try to get a quorum so we can move forward with the caucus. So if you're available, please attend March 18th at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall for the Town Caucus. The Bernardston Photographic Club photo exhibit and evening cafe celebration of animals and flowers is scheduled on Monday, March 18th at 3 p.m. at the Bernardston Senior Center. No.
Planning board is also scheduled to meet this coming Monday, the 11th, at 6 o'clock here.
Okay, Planning Board will be meeting this coming Monday at March 11th?
Yes, March 11th.
Yes, 6:30, Town Hall.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, Town Hall. Okay, appointments. We have Aaron Bodine to talk to us tonight from the Bernardston Fire and Water District. Aaron, what can we help you with?
We purchased a truck for the water district for maintenance and servicing of the facilities, and we've been having a hard time getting a fuel card for it due to the light amount of fuel we'll be going through. And we were approaching the town if we could purchase fuel from the town and be billed at your discretion on frequency from the highway department.
Okay, gentlemen, what's your thoughts on?
Question I had prior to the meeting was why did you purchase the truck?
So we have to move chemicals from well house to well house on a almost weekly basis. We've been using our personal vehicles for that. They're like 75-pound drums or heavier depending on the chemical we're moving. So we got a lift gate so we can move those drums without blowing our backs out. And for maintenance and when we have repair work to be done, we have a safe vehicle to be driving around in with lights and all of our tools in it versus going and collecting everything into our own trucks every time something happens.
Anticipation of how much fuel you're going to go through?
Not a ton. I mean, I'd be surprised if we fill it more than once a month unless we have a long duration, repair or something.
There are other sources in town?
Yeah, we could buy it with a credit card from Sandry. Dead River is no longer doing the accounts or starting new accounts.
Interesting.
We looked at that. So we felt that this would be an option to, look into before we went out and got a new credit card account.
Then I know I had a conversation with Aaron this morning because I was questioning the tax-free piece of it.
Yep.
And you want to just explain what you explained
Yep.
to me this
So
morning?
we are, a municipal district certified by the state to be tax-free. We are a municipality type organization because we do collect tax dollars. So we are tax-free. And that is one of the reasons why it's so hard for us to get fuel retail without paying tax and then having to keep track of that exactly to, file with our taxes every year. If we were to buy it from the town, it's already tax-free and we alleviate that issue. Makes it easier on our bookkeeper too.
In the notes, it mentions a memorandum of understanding between the two organizations, the town and the Fire and Water District. That's difficult process sometimes, getting agreement on what the exact wording is and involves lawyers. That's an expense that is,
That's up to you guys and how you want to do it.
okay. We don't want to do it. We want somebody else to prepare the memorandum.
Okay.
And at their expense. It would presumably be the water district's expense, so that the taxpayers of the town of Bernardston aren't
That's fine.
burdened with that.
Yep.
No, it doesn't say we have to have a,
Yeah, so,
Right.
so I
Or.
think that might have been a suggestion by someone, but that we weren't asking for one as long as we had the agreement that you billed us, we're going to pay it next billing cycle.
okay.
And your credit's good?
I would hope so.
Okay, here's my,
Did you pay your bills?
here's my take on it. I really don't have a problem with allowing them to use our system, as long as it's legal and we get an okay from Donna saying that it's legal, then I'm fine with it, and we can track it on the
software
The
within
GIR software.
Yeah, Brian said it would be
Track
very
it
easy to
and-
set up
Yeah,
an
he would give
account
him a
for it.
fob and set
But
him up
once
an
we
account.
find out for sure if this is something we can do, because we don't want to open up a can of worms and
Yes, sir.
have to do the same for other people. I want to make sure of that.
Yes.
Then we'll decide how we're going to do it.
Okay.
As far as the memorandum, the agreement should state that the fuel is only going into that truck and that
Right.
truck only.
Yes.
Just so that there's no confusion, and we do have cameras to verify that. So no matter how somebody wants to get gas using that fob, it's
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
it'll help
we
keep
were
the cost
concerned about
down.
that too, so it'll be in our policy for it.
Now, would the legal expense of calling and inquiring about this be on the Fire and Water District, or that's on us, right?
It's on us.
Right, okay.
is that fair to because not everybody is covered by the Fire and Water District in the town of Bernardston. Still,
Oh, that's why we're getting some legal opinion here, because I want to make sure we're doing the right thing. And the questions come to us. I don't have the legal answer for that.
right?
So we have our town council, and that's what they're for. So I would,
Yes, sir.
my recommendation is
Yep.
to send this to town council, and get their opinion, and then
Okay,
go forward with it.
All right.
I agree.
But that's what we'll do for now. We'll
Yeah,
just-
let me know what she says and,
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll be in touch
we have a
with
board meeting next week.
Yeah.
So.
She's very busy. It
That's-
usually takes a
that's-
couple of weeks for her.
That's fine. We have a board meeting next week. We'll talk about the
Okay.
memorandum of understanding and
I mean, I'm in favor of it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but we
I
just
was
have
only
to
worried
make
about
sure.
the tax thing, and you cleared that up for
Yep.
me this morning.
and we can provide all those tax documents too if we have to. So.
I'll be in touch for
All
sure.
right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thanks, Aaron.
Might
Thanks,
see you
Aaron.
anyways
Thanks for
next
coming on, Aaron.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
Chris,
Aaron,
Chris, we're here from the town.
Aaron,
silly question. What about the repeaters?
All the police department parts are in, so I just have to find time to do it.
Okay.
The fire department ones, all the parts have shipped except for the repeaters themselves.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Because last time with the PD, when the last part I got for the fire department came for the PD, the repeaters came shortly thereafter. So
You think we're going to get this done by the annual town meeting, so we can have a celebration?
I can hope if I have enough time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
All right, appreciate
let's
it.
move on here. Chris,
Come
would you come
forward.
up and talk to us about the appointments for the town caucus?
Okay, so the town caucus will be here at Town Hall on the 18th. Mark, what will happen actually first, the town clerk, the process is the town clerk will open the meeting, and then the people in attendance have to vote to have someone run the meeting other than myself. I do have somebody who has volunteered and will do it, but I'm not going to say who it is right now because who knows what might happen between now and the 18th.
If you want to know who that is, you got to come to the meeting.
Exactly. We do need to have a quorum of a minimum of 25 registered voters to come through the door and check in. We'll have my two registrars will be there to help check in. Linda Raymond said she would be the secretary for the meeting.
Great.
Take minutes. The positions that are up for re-election this year are the assessor for 1 year, a term of 3 years, but it's 1 year remaining of that 3 years, so the term ends in 2025. There's another assessor for 1 3-year term to expire in 2027. Board of Health, 1 member, 3-year term to expire 2027. Constable, 1 3-year term to expire in 2027. Cushman Library Trustees, there's one year remaining on a 3-year term that will end in 2025, and then there's 4 positions of that are 3-year terms ending in 2027. And Powers Institute is the same situation, well, except that it's 1 term with 2 years remaining on a 3-year term. And then there's 4 trustees for 3-year terms ending in 2027. On the Recreation Commission, there's 1 2 years remaining on a 3-year term to end in 2026. And there's 2 3-year terms ending in 2027. And then the Select Board has 1 member, 3-year term ending in 2027. So those are the positions that will be up for nomination at the annual town caucus, which is the easiest way to get your name on the ballot. If someone is not nominated and they want to run on the ballot, they can come to me within 48 hours after the town caucus, and they can take out nomination papers, and they can run around town and get minimum of 10 registered voters' signatures to nominate them and have their name put on the ballot. And of course, the registrars will certify the names, make sure that everyone that is on there is actually a registered voter. I think I covered everything on the caucus.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do the individuals that are in these positions now, are they tracking? Do they know that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
You
I'm
contacted
notifying
them?
everybody who's
Okay.
up for re-election.
Okay.
Same with all the people that we can move on to the appointed positions.
Right.
Because those are all due by the end of this month. I've started reaching out and contacting everyone whose position is up for reappointment at the end of this month. And I'm still working on that. I have a lot of people who said yes, they want to run again. And then I have some people who said no, they don't. And so I can't tell you what positions will be open, but I will definitely have that list by the 20th for all the open positions that are left. So maybe we can get those positions filled before the end of March here and get the rest of the people all reappointed. Those who say yes, they want to be reappointed, I'll give you those names to be reappointed on the 20th.
As people know, this is our democratic process, and folks want to keep the town meeting type government going. To do that, we need to have people on these committees and on these boards to make that happen. So please, if you know somebody or talk to your friends, see if anybody wants to apply for one of these positions. They're all, it's a lot of fun. You can, you learn a lot, and you get to really help the town out. The two big ones on here that I see is the Cushman Library Trustees and the Powers Institute are really in dire straits of getting some people. The assessors, they've been working for a couple of years to get their things up to snuff, so there's positions there. If you don't like how property taxes are going, or you don't understand how the assessment process works, this is a way to learn that. Not much we can do to change the rules from the state, but at least you have the opportunity to give your opinion to it and see what you can change or can't change. The selectman's job, it's one that's, how do I say this? It's very rewarding, and it's also sometimes not very rewarding. But for the most part, you get to learn a lot, and you will be able to help the town as well. So please, if you know somebody's out there, and you talk to your friends and see if you can get somebody to sign up for these positions. Chris, what else you got?
Well, and I just want to point out that most of the people that are in these positions now are still interested in staying on, but it's always nice to see if there's somebody new out there that wants to participate, and it's always good to have some new, younger blood would be nice.
So if someone cannot make the caucus meeting on the, what date again? The 18th,
18th.
at 6,
7 o'clock.
7
here at
o'clock
Town
here
Hall.
at 7 o'clock. If they can't make that meeting, can someone else enter their name?
Somebody can nominate them,
Nominate
and then the rest of the people there can vote them in, and as long as they come in and sign the nomination paper with me within 48 hours, then
They're
they
good to
will-
go.
Yes, they're good to go.
The process of getting 10 signatures, this was asked of me a long time ago. Can you go to the town transfer station, stand and,
Sure, why not?
it's legal to do that?
Sure,
Okay,
yep.
good.
They gotta be registered Bernardston voters.
Right. They don't need special permission from anybody to collect their 10 signatures there? Good.
I don't think so,
People
Okay.
usually just check in with the attendants and see
Okay.
if it's okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I also posted the election results from last night on the town website. It's just a link that you click, but it's on the main page when you open up the website. But we had 531 voters come through, which is about normal for a primary. I expect we probably will have close to 1,400 for the presidential election in November, because we had almost that many in 2020. I don't know if you want me to tell you what our results were. I can tell you the top ones. Joe Biden had 229 votes. Donald Trump had 130 votes. Nikki Haley had 118. And the rest pretty much is just kind of all over the place. There's a lot of blanks.
Okay, well,
Really?
So
People came and didn't vote?
they might have voted for just like one contest, and that was it. So, but the results are up. We did have some people, we had like 13 names written in for town committee. Some were on the Democratic town committee and some were on the Republican town committee. We don't have any organized committee right now, but if people want to organize, there is a process to do that. So it's up to them to come fill out forms and get members and have a political party here
Yeah.
in town. So
Well, thanks to you and your team for doing all that
Absolutely.
work.
Good
It's a lot of
job.
work for a long day.
thank you, and I
Leading
want to
up to
thank
it.
all the poll workers.
Yeah,
Everybody
everybody that
really did a
participated.
good job, and it was nice to have some young people,
Yeah,
come forward and want to be poll workers as well.
and
Great.
constables too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
The
two,
two
we
of
had
them,
two that
yeah.
worked, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great, thank you.
absolutely. Okay.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Excellent job.
Okay, next on the new business, town usage policy. A draft of the Town of Bernardston's property use agreement and application form was prepared for Cushman Park and Pratt Field. The intent is to establish a process for any person or organization wishing to utilize Cushman Park or Pratt Field and to protect the town from destruction of property and damage. The draft agreement was sent out to all department heads and selected committees, boards, and commissions. The police department, fire department, highway department, council of agents, town clerk, and the recreation commission provided constructive feedback and recommendation to the draft agreement. And if you guys had a chance to read through it,
Yep.
okay, then I will ask you for what is your pleasure.
I would like to make a motion to adopt the Town of Bernardston Property Use Agreement and Application Form.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to accept the town property usage agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
I just want to make note here is that when it comes to Cushman Park, we definitely have to make sure that the Cushman Park committee is involved in the usage. Before we can allow anybody to use it, they have to be aware of it and agree to it.
Yes.
And I'll let you guys sign that.
That agreement is going to be on the website?
Yes.
Good.
And Brandon, the Cushman Park president, Board of Trustees did look at this as well. Did.
Yes.
We'll need another sign-on sheet.
Okay.
Just sign it there, it's all right.
Are we the
Oh, geez.
alternate designated user?
Okay.
Go for it.
Next order of business we have is
I
a
might
memo
need
from
to
Brian
fix it
Miner.
later. Okay.
Brian has a 1986 Ford 9000 plow truck that he wants to put up for surplus equipment. It currently has a blown motor, and it would cost between $15,000 to $20,000 to fix it. They have, so far they have gone through and they have taken the stuff that they need off the truck. So it's, they're back down to just a bare truck. And he'd like our permission to put that out for surplus equipment.
Make a motion to approve the 1986 Ford 9000 plow truck as surplus equipment and obtain a scrap price for it.
I will second that motion.
Motion made and seconded to put out for surplus the 9,000 Ford pickup. I think it was 1986.
1986.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next we have, if I got this right, we have a letter. I don't know if Chris, if you want to come up and read the letter, or I can just do it. We have a letter from Sarah LaValle. She has submitted an email to resign from her position as a planning board clerk. Sarah is finding it more difficult to attend the meetings because of her work that she does in town of Northampton.
Yes.
And she's done a fantastic job for us. Been on top of things and kept the board straight when needed to, and made sure the minutes were up to date. She'll be a big miss, I'm sure, for the planning board, and big shoes to fill. So accept a motion to accept the letter of resignation from Sarah LaValle effective Monday, February 26, 2024.
I would like
Also be missed by the Green Committee.
make a motion to accept the letter. Has she resigned from that position as well?
She said she would still possibly help out, because that one is just a little smaller, and
Okay.
right now she's the one that does all the entry and data, so.
Okay. So make a motion to accept the letter of resignation from Sarah LaValle for the planning board effective Monday, February 26th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to to accept the resignation of Sarah LaValle from the planning board. All those in favor?
Aye.
And can we send a letter to Sarah of thanks from the select board?
I
Yes.
sure will.
She was a great resource for the planning board, as that's what her professional life entailed. There was a lot of planning in the city of Northampton that
Okay.
Who does the hiring of that? The planning board directly?
Yes, general, because we usually look for somebody who's got expertise in planning.
Sure. I know Northfield just lost theirs as well.
Oh, really?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough
Yeah.
because you need somebody who knows the rules, the laws,
Yeah.
and help keep you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, she was great.
She did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, moving forward, municipal website design. The select board voted and approved Civic Plus as the town's website design company at the joint meeting with the finance committee on Monday, February 26th. Civic Plus will design a municipal website that will deliver a positive experience to all town residents. Our residents will be able to pay bills and submit forms and application online. Bernardston residents will be able to find and access the information they need. Recreation activities and resident self-service registrations will also be available online. We'll be hearing from a Civic Plus designer and project manager. Simultaneously, the design will initiate the website design process, and a project manager will begin guiding us through the implementation phases. We are hoping to have the new website up and running late May or early June 2024. I don't know how many times over my 18 years of being involved with the select board, and we've heard that people couldn't get information, they didn't know about a meeting. This website has the potential to really help at that. It won't eliminate all the problems, but it's got a great potential of helping with that. Perhaps down the road we could have people could send in their emails, and we could send out a message to them when there was something going on in town that they needed to know about. What was coming up at select board meetings, what was coming up at planning board meetings that really needed to have participation from the town. So people would be informed and be aware. In today's day and age, we no longer can just sit back and hope people get the information and hope people see when the meetings are available. We need to find a way to really get that out and get people to these meetings so we can have a productive conversation and come out with the right outcome, if possible.
Sure.
Okay, network infrastructure and IT support package. Now, I want to back up a minute. I just want to let people know, yes, this is going to come with with more money that we have to pay out. We are going to use the ARPA money to pay for the design, but there'll be a yearly maintenance fee of, I think, around $3,000
Yes.
that we'll have to pay. But we really think this is something that we really need to do. Other towns are doing it, and they're successful in doing it, so let's hope that we have the same success. Network infrastructure and IT support package. On February 15th, the town invited the remaining IT vendors, Entree and Advanced Tech, to conduct a site survey of all the town buildings. The intention of the site survey was to obtain detailed information on what the town needs in regards to the equipment and users' workspaces. Equally important was to ensure that the same information was available to both vendors so that they could refine their original quotes for resubmission to the select board. The quotes have been received. Now, I just want to bring us up to date a little bit on what this means. The senior center, Jen at the senior center applied for a grant from the IT, and we were awarded a grant for $50,000 to have an IT service come in and put a server in for us. Now we're at the point now as to deciding whether we're going to go forward with this or we're going to say no to it. There's some hiccups with it. We have, even after we get done putting the server in, hooking up all of the buildings to the server, that price is, like I said, that price is $50,000, and that's paid for by the grant. After that, we have to pay a yearly fee, and that yearly fee is not cheap. I think now it's what, at $12,000 if you take one?
Yeah, 12,700.
$12,700 a year to maintain this site. What does this do for us? It's somewhat like the web design. It's going to help us with communications, but this is more for the inner workings of the town, for us to make sure that we have proper backup of all of our data, our records keeping, our minutes. It's also going to allow the other town buildings to talk to the town server to get the right forms that they need, to get us so we have a standard approach to, like, even the budget process, the budget sheets that everybody uses something different. Everybody is using a different type of software that some is compatible to other software and some isn't. So we're always fighting that battle. So with this, we'll get everybody working on the same systems, and hopefully this will, like I said, right now, folks, we don't, the backup in the town hall is some people have it on thumb drive. Some people have the thumb drive they take home. Some people have a thumb drive that's in a safe in the office. But it's all over the board. We don't really know what's going on. This will give us a place for all of our data to be backed up and secured. So that's the biggest thing right there. Anybody want to make any other comments?
Yes, the security piece of it. There are numerous towns in this country, the whole country, that have been hacked and subject to ransomware, where the outside entity takes control of the municipality's software, PCs, network, and the towns have been reduced to shutting down completely until they can resolve the issue. It's an incredibly expensive process to resolve, along with paying the ransomware. These people are devious, and it's a horrendous thing when it happens to a city or town. When we're installing this network and server, there is an overlaid security package that ensures that nobody else can get into our systems, compromise them. That is one of the key features to ensure that we are protected. Stan mentioned that people bring in their thumb drives and hand it to everybody in order to move information from department to department right now. And if one of those thumb drives comes in here with the ransomware on it, it could compromise our entire town as we know it. So it's incredibly clear that we need this IT modification, that we need to be networked, that we need to have the appropriate controls, that we need the backups. By the Commonwealth of Massachusetts requires us to do that. And we don't tell them that, but we haven't been doing it effectively. So this will fix all of that. The fact that $50,000 of it is being paid for, so all of the new stuff is part of the grant that Jen Reynolds got for the town, is a bonus. We should have done this a long time ago, but that's in the past. So highly recommend that we go forward with this, accepting this grant for $50,000, and that we install it all. It is inexpensive. Go forward. The two vendors that we had bid, the second vendor was, I believe, $18,000. So
Yes.
the $12,000, we didn't pick it necessarily on the difference between $12,000 and $18,000. We picked it. We were comfortable in interviewing, talking about talking about the town's needs with this vendor, and the fact that it's a woman-owned vendor is another. I see it as a benefit that we're supporting that initiative as well. So,
And we do have a little bit of a relationship with one of these companies at the senior center currently that has been working there for a few years, along with Jen Reynolds
she
on
got
some
a-
of her computer
yes,
needs.
she got a grant to pay for the upgrade of the network at the senior center, and so it was a natural fit. They already knew our needs there, and we're used to how the town of Bernardston works. So it was another advantage in choosing Advantech.
And it turned out to be the less expensive option too, which was always a bonus.
Yep.
Always a bonus.
Well, are we voting on this tonight?
Yes, I would make a motion to accept the quote from Advantech and to move forward with this project by accepting the $50,000 grant from the state.
I'll second that motion for the discussion piece of it.
Can you give us the quote on the one that we're talking about?
I have, it's in your book,
The red tab.
red tab.
Yeah, but you know how my eyes are.
What did you need, Stan? I'm sorry.
Just tell us what the amount of money is.
Okay,
that we're
it's,
gonna-
yep,
And this motion, just so folks here, is just for the grant piece of it. It's not necessarily for the going forward costs. Correct?
I have
Yes.
a question. Stan mentioned that the 50,000 is gonna cover the server. Does it only cover the server?
The server,
or
the
does it
installation,
cover
all of the wiring, all the everything,
That's
the
my
whole kit and
question,
caboodle.
Because it's not what was stated.
All the Windows
On the-
products.
On the first red tab, Stan, about 3 pages in, you see a number 48,562.97, which includes, I can read it all to you, it'd be painful, but a server, backup, battery backup, the Dell server software, Cisco managed gigabyte switch, Sonic Wall, but that's the safety net between the buildings so that they're protected in the communications between the town buildings. A rack mount to hold all of this equipment. The threat protection service, that's the software that runs in the background to preserve the security.
the certified.
Okay,
electrician.
well, let's,
Goes on and on.
The total price is $48,562.97, and the grant will cover that price.
okay, now, the grant's gonna cover that, but I personally don't think there's any sense in voting for a grant for doing this if we're not gonna vote to go forward, because you're just gonna have a piece of machinery sitting here for $50,000 and you can't do nothing with it.
But you can't. The annual fee has to go on the town warrant.
Right.
The annual fee has to go on the town
Well,
warrant.
we know that, but we gotta vote to decide if we're gonna go forward or not, and then we can. So, what's your pleasure on determining what we're gonna be doing? I mean, I don't think we can do anything until we can have a IT service in place. And this IT service is the one that's gonna put the server and all the hookups in place. They're gonna do all the work,
Can I ask another question?
yeah?
You read software when you read what it covered. Is
Yep.
it covering the first year of the service?
Some things are included. Some years are on a 5-year. Like there's for the Sonic Wall Advanced Threat Protection Services. That's one. We only need one license to cover the town. That's for a 5-year license.
But
That's
the
part of
annual
that.
maintenance fee,
The annual maintenance fee is an additional
$12,000.
$12,700 a year.
And there's nothing in the 48,000 that's covered
The
for
software,
the
and
first year of that 12,700.
Correct.
Okay.
the grant covers just the equipment
Yep.
and the installation. And then the second package, the IT package, covers the user software and,
That's the 12,700.
yes. And it's technically, well, it's $1,487 a month, which comes out to $1,270 and some change. You were given this
Yep.
as well.
Finance committee was.
I have that
You have both quotes. We passed
It was
these out a
last
while
meeting.
ago.
at the, okay,
Yeah.
I don't have it tonight.
I mean, is it fair to make a vote of the IT package contingent on a vote of town meeting for the yearly fee, the yearly maintenance?
Yes, it is.
Does that
So
seem reasonable to anybody?
I guess.
Yes,
Do I hear
When
a-
do they plan to get the installation done?
Well, the sooner we tell them,
They're waiting to be told.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, it happens.
When does the grant have to be accepted by?
we got till next year, end of next year, June of
Okay.
next year,
To use it,
to use it.
Okay.
but she asked, when did it have to be accepted?
The money's
It's been
here. The
accepted.
grant's been
It's been-
accepted.
Yeah, they
Oh,
sent
gotcha.
us the funds
Yeah,
already.
we accepted it.
The money's in the bank, the money's here in an account.
But if we're not gonna go forward, then we have to.
We'd have to return it back, correct.
So, yeah, I'll entertain a motion for that. If you've got a motion on the floor for that.
Do you want to rescind that other motion first?
Sure.
I'll second rescinding the first motion.
Okay.
Want to vote on that?
Motion's been made and seconded to rescind the first motion to accept the quote from Avantech for the installation of a server in the town of Bernardston.
And now I would, oh, one
All
vote.
those in favor?
Aye. Now I'd like to make a motion to accept the quote from Advantech, subject to the approval at the town meeting for the ongoing support
IT pick.
IT package, totaling $12,700 a year.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to accept the quote by Avantech for $48,562.97 for the infrastructure of our server to hook up all of our town buildings, and then for ongoing $12,000 a year for the
$12,700.
$12,700 for the IT management quote.
For the first year,
For the first year.
because that's the one that has the escalation clause in it, right?
Okay, all those in favor?
Escalation clause.
Yeah,
The
go up,
second year's gonna be more than.
go up
close.
5% the second year.
That was the Civic Plus quote. That was the website quote. The 5% increase.
There's no increase in that.
This
I
is a
know
3-year
there's gonna be
contract.
questions out there on this, and I know people are gonna say, why are we having to pay so much money for, maintenance fees and on this software and on these, programs and systems? Well, that's on everything we have, the programs that the treasurer has, the programs that the assessor has, the programs that the tax collector has, programs that the police department have to use.
Town clerk, who
The
has
town
to
clerk,
maintain all the records.
we're paying a lot of fees on maintenance for software. Currently, right now, since Lou left us, and I really hope he's doing great in his new job, he was our IT person, and we didn't know how good we had it when we had Lou, because he did all this basically for nothing. And he should have been getting paid for what he was doing as well. But now we don't have anybody, and if something goes wrong in town, until we can get this service up and going and hire one of these companies, we're kind of stuck if we have a computer problem. We're gonna have to really be trying to find somebody to come in here and fix it. I'm sure that's not gonna be cheap. Okay, let's move forward.
Did we
Brad,
vote
hi.
that? I know we motioned it. Did we vote it?
Yes.
Yes, I
Oh,
think we
okay,
did.
good.
How you doing, Brad?
Good, how are you?
Would you like to talk to us tonight?
Whenever you have a chance. I didn't ask to come,
Okay.
so
Well, we'll be with you in a second. our FY25 MVP grant. There's been a couple updates. The MVP grant, we originally were going to work with Leiden on putting together a process where we can map out the water ponds and stuff in the town of Bernardston for fire protection. And that started last year, and it kind of fell apart because there was problems going forward and backwards, and as far as if we had the right process, if we had the right people in place and that type of thing. So anyways, on February 27th, David Pomerantz and John Lepore sent a letter to the Leiden Selectboard for several reasons. John and David determined that Bernardston should submit the MVP Action Grant wildfire proposal by themselves and not proceed with a regional focused project which would include Leiden. One of the reasons is that the town of Leiden will be submitting their own MVP Action Grant proposal for engineering services for a project involving the bog. Based on previous discussions with the town concerning capacity to administer grants, David and John agreed that Leiden should focus on securing and implementing a grant for the bog project. David and John look forward to submitting a revised MCP Action Grant proposal. The town of Leiden Select Board Chair accepted the letter and wished every success in securing the funding and pulling off first year implementation. Now, do you have an update for us, Karen, on the meeting that you had today?
Yes, we, myself, John, and Dave met with Mariah, and we worked through, they shared the scope of the project with Mariah. She did announce that she applied for a state position, so she's waiting to hear back on that. And if she gets the full-time position, her business of will be kind of off on the side. So she said she could probably help us with the grant submission, but she definitely couldn't commit to the project management piece, this far out, because I think the reward of the grant will be in August. They're going to release the grant application in March. It'll be turned in April, and then they'll award the grant in August. She couldn't say or commit to being, being the project manager at that time. So, but we have yet to see how all that comes out in the wash. But that was a little bit of news that we found out today.
Is that not a showstopper for us? Because without a project manager, we're not willing to go forward with this?
Well, I think it puts in, of course, we don't have to identify the project manager at this stage, but in our minds, I think we do. We don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, does Bernardston have the capacity to execute this grant? The requirements. So one of the ideas, so Mariah had left, and Dave and I and John decided that we'd, reach out and see if we could, find some other people. So I have a town administrator forum. It's an email forum. Everyone uses it all. Like the town clerk has one too, and you send out stuff like, "Hey, is anybody?" So that there could be a retired project manager or someone that's looking for some side work or something like that. But to be quite honest, it wasn't what I expected. I thought I saw that service or her business being the project manager for our grants. One of our grant writers and.
No, we know Capital Strategic will write the grant.
Mm-hmm.
Have we approached Capital Strategic to see if they would be the administrator as well?
No, we have not.
Like
so
Mariah
that would be another avenue. So
I know they're not as local as we'd probably like,
right. But definitely. It does. I think there should be a pause about getting involved in it.
How long can we pause?
The grant will be released, the application opens in March, like next week. And then,
Due in April.
Yeah, due back in April submission. So it's something that, and John and Dave didn't really seem to be too concerned about it. They think that it'll fall into place and we'll find somebody, so whatever you
I'm
decide.
going to win the lottery next week, too.
I think it would be difficult to have a commitment from somebody to do that work this far ahead.
Right.
And even if you had the commitment, you do not have a guarantee that that person will still be available and able to do the work.
It's true.
But with Capital Strategic, they're a larger business than a one-man band.
Right, but I'm talking about,
It's worth an ask
You
to
know,
them, in my
personal-
opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
If they would manage the whole thing, there's a backup to a backup to a backup
Right.
there.
that's different. That's
Whereas
different than.
Mariah was a one-person.
No,
outfit.
this is I definitely, Mariah Kurtz is, her services are great. There's nothing about that, just things,
Right.
things can change. And that's very understandable that no one could commit to something. And oh, by the way, we haven't even applied for the grant yet. So
Right.
it's all about just having it in our brain.
Yep.
Can we do this? And for real, if something falls through, or remember, this is you buy everything, you pay for everything, and you get reimbursed for it down the road. So that's all. And I think this is exactly what Leiden was feeling, to be, had the same
So
concerns.
Leiden has totally stepped back from this.
Yeah, they're
They're
out.
gonna
Yeah.
do
It's
it
going to be a
different.
one-horse,
Yeah.
one-town only
Yeah, we'd
project.
be a one-town, right. So there's no on the hook for the 5%, it's a 10%, so it's
Assuming
now
we-
a we had $10,000 on the hook for.
So assuming we were successful in applying for a one-town grant as opposed to a regional grant, which was part of the
Yeah,
interest here, assuming we're successful and they give us the grant, we don't necessarily have to accept it.
Correct.
So
As we did
that
last
would be
year.
our out
Yep.
if Mariah said, no, I've
Yeah,
accepted
you can-
the
I
state
think-
position.
definitely drive on, I would
point.
think driving on and applying for it
Yep.
is always, find a way to say yes, and then right when we get across that bridge, if it doesn't,
So who's going to apply for the grant?
myself, John, and Dave will work on that. And
Not-
Mariah too, she'll be available to help with that as
So
well.
there is an expense to that process
Yes,
as
there
well.
will be an expense.
Well,
And
yes.
that was, she's gonna they're gonna provide her with a job description and some, some tasks that they are looking to have her do to help with the submission. And she's gonna bring a proposal forward, and then it'll be presented to you at that time before anything moves forward.
Assuming all that work gets done and we submit a grant request and we get turned down, are there expenses that the town has incurred at that point?
Well, whatever we paid, if we use Capital Strategic, it would be the work, we'd be paying for the work of the grant writing, whatever,
Okay.
if Mariah did work on the application submission, then that as well.
Dave and John?
No, I
They're-
don't
they're
believe
pro
so,
bono?
because they're technically, no, I don't believe so.
Okay.
But they're not, they're on the other end of it. If the grant's awarded, then they're.
Right. Employees of it
And we have a line item to cover this
for grant writing, correct.
grant writing.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
yes.
So there's a risk of, just.
I would get Capital Strategic on board. That'd be my,
It's worth asking if they'll administer
Sure.
it.
Yeah, that may
Another
swing
piece of the puzzle.
the work over to them as opposed to
okay,
Mariah.
so we don't need to really do anything tonight now?
No, it was just information and to update you on a change of the status there.
It's disappointing, but
Yeah.
Okay, Town Administrator's Report.
All right, I have a few items. The inland dredging grant was submitted by Blythe on the 29th of
Blythe of
February.
Capital Strategic.
Capital Strategic. And again, Blythe, Brian, and I, that's hard to say together, worked together on the grant. It was a lot of fun.
This would be
it
Brian
was.
Minor.
We learned a lot about dredging, Blythe and I did. Brian
Okay.
was, it was good. So that's in, so let's keep our fingers crossed.
That'd
And
be good.
we do know that we're gonna go forward with that project regardless, so, right? Isn't that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay, so, also the Bernardston Police Department was awarded $1,950 from the FY '24 AED, Automated External Defibrillator Grant, equipment program grant, so to buy one AED, so that's good. The police department will be doing that. Jim has the information.
And that was a grant they applied for on their own.
Yes,
which was
actually,
great.
both the fire and the police applied, so there's a little confusion about
Oh,
if
who
the
got
fire got it or the police got it, because the application, anyway,
Yep.
you don't need the details. It was awarded to the police department, so.
Thank you to the
Do we
police
have
department
only,
for doing that.
do we only have only one defibrillator in town?
No, I don't believe that to be true. I don't know
The
how many we
schools?
do have. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I think, I don't know exactly the number, but more than one is probably a good thing, but.
Absolutely.
Also, the Mass Cultural Council, they received their annual, I guess it's called the FY24 Local Cultural Council allocation, $5,500 of a grant that they received. And it looks like that's a normal, it happens every year, I believe. Is that, do you know that to be true?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. So they received theirs, so we got grant, so. Also, I wanted to let you know that the 3-town meeting tomorrow, we invited the Greenfield recorder, Liesel, she'll be there too as well. So I just wanted to let you know, Stan, that I got a hold of her and she's gonna join us. The UMass student workers, remember the apprenticeship that we used last year, UMass is no longer doing that apprenticeship any longer. So Brian and I are gonna put our heads together, contact the schools. We're just going to try and see if we can, see what we can find out. But there will be no student interns from UMass this summer to help the highway department. So the old chairs are up for auction. So they're going to be up till the 18th through the 18th of March. So we'll see how that goes. And Stan, I'm honored.
What site are they on?
Municipid. And House Representative Jim McGovern called the town hall this week, called the Selectboard office, and he wanted to notify the town that a substantial amount of money has been earmarked for the fire station. So I'll let you pick that up, Stan.
Yeah, well, we thought it was a legit call, but I was a little nervous that with everything that goes on, we were getting scammed again. So I made some calls and finally got a call back from Jim McGovern's office yesterday. And they have earmarked $1 million for the fire station.
You heard that right.
Now, let me finish. This is not the same thing that went through the state. The state was a bond bill. This is on the federal budget. This is a bill on the federal budget, and it's already passed through a bunch of things. The federal budget has not been completely voted on yet. So some of this stuff could be taken out. But they're pretty confident at this point that Bernardston could really get the $1 million for the fire station. And this would have to be used for the fire station and nothing else. So that's good news. I've let Pete know because I think that's, we're not saying we're going to get it. We've been down this road, but this is a more positive thing. This here, we've actually had the United States Congressman call the town hall personally and let us know about it. So I think we're probably on a good roll there. So that's the news on that, folks.
That was all I had.
Okay.
That's plenty.
We have you got this Boy Scout thing?
Yeah, that's usage.
Cub Scout Pack 3 is looking to have a Pinewood Derby, and I believe this is at the elementary school. The principal has signed it. You folks have any problem with me signing it? Okay,
Make a motion to
this is
have
gonna
Stan
be-
sign the...
This is going to be
Second.
on 4/6/24 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the gym. And there doesn't seem to be any conflict.
I'll second Ken's motion to approve
Okay.
it.
We have a time off request.
Want to make a motion for that one, Ken?
We make a motion to approve the time off request.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Brad, what can we do for you tonight?
I was hoping that,
Come up to the front, please.
Then we can get your voice recorded, you know?
over at Pratt Field, there's a row of trees, and I've been having trouble with a lot of them declining from people parking underneath them. And I was wondering if there was something that the select board could do to help us.
The ones on the edge of the entrance road?
Yeah, they line the entrance.
By declining, you mean they're declining health?
Right.
Okay.
With all the compaction from the traffic, which is a good thing that there's that many people enjoying the place, but, and I haven't had a chance to talk with Brian about a better solution for where all of those cars could go, whether it's a parking lot or something out there, but he did agree that getting them off of that would help with his maintenance also.
Have any ideas?
Signage would maybe be a good start, maybe some, I hate to say boulders or split rail because that then turns into more maintenance for them to weed whack around, so I have not had that conversation with
So
Brian
you're
yet.
saying the road in,
Right.
you want to move that road, or?
No, I don't want to move any road. I just don't want people to park underneath the trees because it's killing the roots, which is killing the trees.
Okay, we can,
But I wanted to make sure you guys were on board with preventing people from parking underneath.
Yeah, I'd
those
start with
trees.
signs personally and see
Yeah.
how that works
Yeah.
first.
we could make something that, have some signs made up and then give it, and then the people that are gonna do use that area have to put the signs out. And
Well, I think these could be permanent signs that would be there all
Yeah,
the time, right?
Hopefully.
So dog walkers and whatnot.
On the road, or they're
No,
pulling off?
no, this isn't going.
Yeah, they're pulling off perpendicular to the road.
Part of the town usage policy is a walkthrough with the highway department.
Mm-hmm.
So this definitely will be, Brian's gonna be, will know this, because he will walk through with the event person or the user, and go over the grounds and the do's and the don'ts.
Yeah.
And this will definitely be incorporated in that. I
Well,
would
that's
think.
great for those, but I think it's more the dog
No, right.
walkers and the recreational soccer
Right.
players.
Right,
And
very- Yes.
Not coming to the party
on-
parks.
On
I
golf
just wanted to
courses,
make that point.
we use rope, and they're on posts, and then they just go, you just take the rope and just string it all the way down through.
Some kind of a chain or something.
The rope is better, because it wraps up better when you get done. So, and you could leave it there and then just hang some signs on that, just saying, but, yeah, we'd be in favor of
Okay,
doing something.
so just team up with Brian and
Yeah.
try to figure
Yeah.
something out?
Yeah, if you can get signs or whatever.
Cool.
Whose budget would that come under? The rope and the...
Yours,
I don't know.
Thank you, Jay.
We'll call
Who's in
it
charge
Brian's
of
tonight.
Pratt
Call
Field?
Pratt Field.
maintenance,
We'll figure
Okay.
that out.
and maintenance.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you.
Very good.
Thanks,
Anything
Brad.
else
Thanks,
that
Brad.
come before the select board meeting tonight?
The elevator? No?
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
The elevator, the last page of your speech?
Oh, you want to talk about the elevator? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Franklin County Council of Government has been facilitating a collective bid for elevator maintenance since 2010. The FERCog took this on because towns were being overcharged and automatically renewed for unfair contracts for elevator services, which we were. The FERCog contract is written with the best interests of the municipalities and protects them from things like charges when work is not completed, double charges to fix the same problem, unexpected price increases, etc. The FERCog has settled on a 3-year contract. The participation cost is $100 per elevator. This is a one-time fee that will be billed after July 1st, 2024. The fee covers the entity for 3 years of participation. The work is primarily inspections and general lube and adjustments. It is not meant for high-cost repairs, which would have to be bid quoted separately. Elevators are typically maintained bi-monthly and wheelchair lifts quarterly or semi-annually. Towns must reply by April 1st, 2024, for the FERCog has time to assemble and facilitate the bid. The FERCog expects to open the bid in late May for July 1st, 2024 start date. I don't know, now we had a problem when we got rid of the elevator company. We've gone to a different vendor, and I think we're doing okay with that vendor.
Yeah, we
I
seem to
believe
have a
that's
good one.
correct.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's the elevator in the senior center, and yes, I think we're satisfied
And
with
Mac Brothers have been
the
doing a great
performance of
job.
that vendor.
So
Jen's
I-
been happy too.
So I would suggest that we don't, at this point, enter into this agreement.
I would agree.
Me too.
Okay, now, is there anything else to come before the select board? Ken?
No.
Brian?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, folks. See you in a couple weeks.